The Shadowy Island. On the island of Jamaica, a shadow has fallen. Children, elders, even famous models, one by one, they've all vanished without a trace. Fear gripped the island, and for a time a curfew was imposed, but it didn't last. Elle lived on the outskirts of town with her younger brother Marley and older sister Sasha. Their parents were killed in the Reset Revolts, a brutal period of rebellion. Since then, Elle found solace in art, poetry, and farming. Her father, a military man, had taught her the ways of the samurai. Her swordsmanship flawless, just like his. He spent a great deal of time in Japan as a young recruit and developed a love for the way of the samurai. And that love became Elle's love. It was Friday night when everything changed. Sasha, tired from work, headed home. But she wasn't alone. A group of shadowy figures followed her. Out of nowhere, their faces hidden in the dark. She ran, heart pounding, deeper into the woods. Desperation led her to a friend's house. Frantic, she called Elle. "Lock the doors, Elle. Something's wrong with the people in town." And then, nothing. Elle grabs her father's sword and flashlight. Urgency in her movements. She ran out of the house. Elle knew she had no time to waste. She sprinted to town. But when she arrived, she found the streets abandoned. The police station, empty. That's when she saw him. The town priest. His laughter echoed through the silence. Sneering, he said, pointing at Elle. "It's your turn." He lunged at her, but Elle's reflexes were too swift. She strikes with her sword, cutting him down. 2 more vampires leap from the roof. She takes them out one by one. Her father had prepared her for this. But when she looked up at the rooftops, she saw more vampires laughing, watching. Elle runs through the woods, sword glowing as she fights off more vampires. She arrives at her grandmother's house only to see Sasha waiting, with blood-soaked men behind her. The men she brought were covered in blood and inside the house, their grandmother gone. "Sasha, why?" "I had no choice," Sasha said coldly. "Will you cut me down too?" Elle falls to her knees, lowering her sword, tears streaming down her face. But before she could answer, vampires swarmed the house. As Sasha stepped closer, we can still be family. Smiling as she stepped closer, Elle lost all power, weak in her knees. She did nothing as Sasha bit into her. Darkness clouded Elle's mind. She began to change, but then she heard it. Her father's voice. Thinking of all the times he trained her, everything that he instilled in her. She heard it. Remember who you are. Elle's eyes snapped open. Glowing with power, she grabbed her sword, now crackling with energy, and turned on Sasha, stabbing her, but not to kill. Elle's true power surged. Her sword ignited into a flame. As she turned on the vampires, cutting them down one by one, she executed every last one of them, except for Sasha. With everything she loved gone, Elle could not bring herself to kill her sister. Letting her go as the sun began to rise, she left Jamaica, leaving behind the wreckage of her life. But her mission wasn't over. The vampire curse still flowed through her veins, but Elle's power kept it at bay. Now her sights were set on the head vampire, the one who cursed her. Elle wouldn't stop until she found him, until she ended it all. Arriving on the streets of Brooklyn, gripping her sword tightly beneath her jacket, her eyes were full of determination. Subscribe for more dark tales, and don't forget to turn on notifications for the next chapter of Elle's story.